I can't believe it. Britain has actually voted to get out of the European Union. Seriously, the funniest part is that is the butthurt, the leftist tears that are keep on powering, and they keep on delivering all over social media. I mean, a fan of this channel has sent me a print screen of dozens upon dozens of leftist tears keeping on delivering, because there was a German leftist that said, I can't believe this is happening, someone please wake me up. I can't believe Britain is voting to get out of the USSR. Well, I have to at least attempt to swallow some of my words. I mean, I told a friend of mine that I'll definitely change at least some of my opinions if Britain votes to leave the European Union. So, well, Britain voted to leave the European Union, so I guess I'll have to tone down my rhetoric a little bit when it comes to Britain, because at the very least, according to this vote, it does seem that there is still a sizable, not a sizable majority, but a significant chunk of the British population that still has the common sense and the balls that made Britain, well, Great Britain. So with that said, I'll have to at least attempt to change some of my rhetoric when it comes to this topic. Now, with that said, it's noteworthy that the turnout of the vote was huge, was much bigger than the parliamentary elections and much bigger than most recent elections, which means that the topic was not decided in this referendum due to apathy, but it was decided definitely due to the fact that a significant chunk of the populace thought it was important enough to turn out to the polls. Now, if things go as they said they will, well, basically now it's next to, what, 2 years, something like that, of negotiations, because the conditions of Britain exiting the European Union have yet to be established. So there will be very harsh negotiations in the next 2 years. This is going to be fun, because, for instance, one issue that needs to be decided is whether Britain will stay in the European Economic Area, like Norway or Sweden, or Switzerland or Serbia, or not. Whether Britain will remain part of certain types of regulations on commerce or not. I hope not, definitely. I mean, when you hear certain types of commerce regulations, think about curved cucumbers regulations or EU regulations on selling the cabbage, things of that nature. I really hope Britain stays out of that. Now, with that said, the geopolitical implications of this referendum have been severely exaggerated by quite a lot of parties involved in this referendum. I mean, I've heard individuals saying that, oh my God, Britain exiting the European Union is a win for Duginists or a win for Putin. I'm not buying that, really. I am not buying that, because when it comes to geopolitical defense and the defense of Europe and things of that nature, it's NATO that matters. It's not the European Union. This mythology that the existence of the European Union has kept peace in Europe is just mythology. I mean, without NATO, there would have been no peace. And Britain in or out of the European Union is an irrelevant factor when it comes to defending Europe no matter how you put things into what perspective you're putting them. So yeah, I'm not buying the geopolitical fear-mongering that comes not just from the establishment, but also from certain sectors of the so-called anti-establishment political thought. Another aspect that I've seen is that Brexit winning is a win of populism, and that Brexit has been fueled by the same populist forces that are fueling Donald Trump across the pond. Yeah, no, not really. And then here's why. I mean, the idea of Brexit has been on the political stage for, what, 10 years now? Probably even more than that. No, actually more than that. I mean, certain tenets of the Brexit ideas have been uttered by Margaret Thatcher more than 25 years ago. So, the driving force behind Brexit was a combination of various political thoughts, various schools of political thought, and that don't necessarily include just right-wing schools of thought. I mean, I was posting on Facebook a few days ago that it's astonishing how absent was it the left-wing thought in this campaign, because there is a solid left-wing case for leaving the European Union. I mean, if you're a leftist and if you want more socialism in Britain, now I don't know why would you want that, because that's a disorderly way of thinking, but anyway, if you want more socialism in Britain, well, the only way to achieve that is to actually control the legislative process of Britain, and of any country for that matter. And in order to control the legislative process, well, you have to be an actual nation with an actual parliament that makes its own laws and that governs itself. And then, and only then, you can then hope to win elections and, you know, enact policies that, in Labour's case, increase the degree of socialism of the country. So this idea that Brexit is just a right-wing thought is ludicrous. There is a left-wing case for that, and sadly for the leftists, the establishment of the left has pretty much failed to serve its Eurosceptic electorate on that regard. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, I'll probably make a more extensive video about that. This one is pretty much unscripted. But I'll probably make a more extensive video on that sometime next week, although tonight on Voice of Europe I will approach this topic in a much more thorough fashion, alongside with my co-host, of course. And also during this weekend I'm finishing the first 3 episodes of the Freedom Alternative Western Ukraine tour. I mean, I already have the scripts recorded and the videos sift through, the video clips sift through, so it's only a matter of very tedious work left to, I mean, the hardest part has already been done in the previous days. In other news, I think you've all read on Patreon. If not, I'll leave the links in the low bar. There will be at least 11 videos for this Ukrainian tour, and I'll probably focus almost exclusively on that. I don't have the time to make other videos and then focus on that. Also, now after the referendum, that's what I said, after the referendum I'll start writing my speech for the International Conference on Men's Issues in London. So I just have too many things on my plate, so basically you'll have to expect only content related to my recently ended tour of Western Ukraine. Now, speaking of which, I've got the chance to speak to a former political prisoner in Ukraine, a man who was in prison for over 10 years for daring to disagree with the KGB, for daring to disagree with the ideas of Marx, Lenin and Engels. So expect that somewhere in the middle of the next week. The first 3 episodes, as I've set them up now, are basically Sighetu Marmației town in Romania, Victims of Communism Memorial in Sighetu Marmației, and a more extensive video on the town of Uzhgorod, the westernmost point of modern-day Ukraine. But after that, we're getting very, very serious, and I got the chance to take an interview to this man, probably the last interview this man will ever give, because he's 91 years old. So yeah, expect very deep things from this channel in the next few days, but not usual videos, because I don't think I'll have the time to do that. But anyway, I'll try. And tonight, make sure you'll be tuning in to my Voice of Europe program. And on Tuesday, maybe on Wednesday, I still don't know for sure, I'll also be having another politics-related hangout with Paul Elam. You'll probably like that too, and we'll talk Brexit and Trump quite a lot. So yeah, with that said, thank you for watching, and see you soon.